Welcome everybody to this latest issue of Casino Life and Sports Betting Operator TV. My name is Peter White and I own this media. And today we're from the Heliot Steak Restaurant at London's Hippodrome Casino to interview Jack Binion, the famous Binions of Las Vegas. Welcome, Jack.
Oh, okay.
Jack, I'd like to commence this interview with the first question. Do you think that the future of poker tournaments is live in traditional casinos or online or in both?
I think it'll be some of both, but you can't tell. I think the live ones seem to kind of work better. They're a little more, everybody's facing each other. It's a get together. But I think there will be both online and live. Who knows what's going to happen down the future? The public decides what they like.
What was your primary reason for leaving Las Vegas and establishing a new casino in Villa?
Well, I tell you, the reason I established some new casinos is the United States gambling was starting to spread out, and more places were legalizing it. Obviously, these were untapped markets, so it was going to be lucrative. And the rest of the family did not want to go and leave Las Vegas. But and I stayed in Las Vegas too. But I said, well, I'm going to take the rest of the family, the young people in the family, the nieces and the nephews, the grandchildren and everything, and they're going to be part of my group. And we went and we opened up some casinos in the Midwest and in the South.
Cool. Is it true that basically you had to start from scratch in order to build your casino after leaving Las Vegas, which is a remarkable achievement?
Well, actually, it isn't as tough as it would be for somebody that hadn't already been in business. In other words, we did all the same type play. We identified the customer. We identified our gaming philosophy. We just took the horseshoe and moved it to Mississippi and Louisiana and Illinois and Indiana and that. So that's all we did. So we kept the same format. So it really wasn't quite as tough. Now, I did not take any of my employees from Las Vegas, got all new employees in the other areas because I didn't want to rob Peter to pay Paul. So, but it worked out very well, obviously. We were the market leader in every place that we were at.
Excellent. Please tell us how and why you reached the decision to sell the World Series of Poker and Horseshoe brands to Caesars Entertainment.
Well, I tell you what, I ended up selling the Horseshoe in Las Vegas to my sister, and I let her keep the World Series of Poker. One of the reasons also, too, I didn't have a good venue. People wanted the World Series of Poker to be in Las Vegas. That's where, let's face it, Las Vegas is still the gambling capital of the world. Although London's a good one too, but it's still the gambling capital of the world. But so it was the obvious place for it should be. Now, the reason I sold out the Horseshoe, our casinos, to Harrah's, the capital needs were getting so big that I was going to really have to bet the company. And all the nieces and nephews, if it didn't work out, they had quite a bit of equity now. And they would have, if it hadn't worked out, they were going to be broke. So I decided to sell the company. And I thought I would start a new company. Never found a venue that I really liked. So I never did get back into the gambling. Now, when I say that, we've had some small operations, but never got into gambling like we did before.
Excellent. I mean, is your opinion about the current status of the two major brands in today's world?
Well, let's as you notice, they just sold the World Series of Poker brand or that to a poker company for 500 million. So,
Right.
it's now they will still operate it, but they more or less sold the rights to other places to this place. So they got 500 million for it. They also had already sold off some more of it that they had sold for even more money. So the World Series of Poker has become a very a valuable brand.
Do you have any plans to return to the casino industry as an operator, or perhaps some other involvement with a casino operator, consultant, something?
Like I say, I'm old enough now that I probably won't be as active as I once was. Now, the rest of the family, if the right opportunity came, they would go into it, and I can be an advisor for them. I'm not really interested in making a lot more money. I'm more interested in the family doing well.
Well, what is your opinion on corporate ownership of casinos and gaming equipment manufacturers in today's world?
But I just think that the equipment companies and the big companies that aren't in gambling right now, it's kind of a natural involvement for them to get involved. Now, will they be as aware as they should of the customer? Hopefully they will.
Because if you innovated your own game, didn't you? Binion's, wasn't it? Binion's, and they're still playing those slots, aren't they, in some casinos?
Wait a minute, say that
Your
again.
slot machines, they still play your slot machines, don't you? The Binion Millions?
Oh, yes. Yeah, well, look, slot machines are easy. They're lucrative. Slot machines, when I first started out, the machines were mechanical.
Yeah.
So we only had 8,000 combinations on the machines. So it was very limited to how much you could give them back to the customer, because you couldn't give them back more than 8,000 combinations. But now they can, it's unlimited. So in a way, the slot machines have become sophisticated lottery machines, because the payoffs for a very small amount, it can be huge.
Well,
do you understand what I'm saying there?
yeah. The accumulators, I mean, are massive.
Yeah, so that's made and that's helped the gaming the slot manufacturers. They've realized this and they've really got involved in it, and it's, let's face it, it's much more appealing now for the slot machines, because for a very small amount, just one bet, you can win millions. So it's almost like the national lotteries, but on a much smaller scale.
You were running a casino in Las Vegas today. Would you do it differently than it is being done now?
Well, one of the things about it, the gambling business has always been a very personalized business. In other words, the relationship between the customer and the casino is very close. In other words, let's face it, it's person to person. So that, I think, is very, very important. And I think going forward, that's what's going to might be a problem, that the bigger these places get and the more remotely the ownership is, that relationship is erode. And I think that would be a real shame. And I think that's very important, to be able to still have that close relationship with the customer.
And if you were doing the same thing in the Midwest or running a casino in Biloxi, would you do it the same way as today, or would you do it differently there as well?
If I was running them in the Midwest, what would I do?
Yeah, differently.
Nothing different. Okay, like let's say, listen,
Yeah,
by giving the customer the best deal you can,
cool.
that's just good business.
Yeah.
And one of the problems with public companies, they're so involved in from quarter to quarter their profits that they don't think long term enough. Look, we had customers that we had for 30, 40 years. So like I say, that personal relationship is so important for the business, but for the satisfaction of the customer too.
Oh, it's very true. What is your opinion of the gaming industry as a whole in the United States at present day?
The gaming in the industry in the United States is just going to get bigger and bigger. It's going to get bigger and bigger everywhere. If you think back, like I say, I was in the gambling business from my father was in it, so I was around it. But I've been in the gambling business since 1958. So when 1958, gambling wasn't as accepted as it is now.
Yeah.
Let's face it, as time goes by, the world has become more and more liberal towards gambling, and a lot of other things too. So that's just, like I say, kind of a natural involvement.
How would you describe the status of the gaming industry elsewhere in the world?
Well, I think, look, the United States was kind of the leader of legalized gambling, but the other countries, they've caught up. I mean, listen, let's face it, Macau is really the largest market there is. And let's take poker. Poker was an old game, but just think how many more people play poker now. And that's just the whole thing. In other words, let's face it, gambling's fun. It's a lot of fun to play. And I think as time gone by and it's more acceptable, more people play, have learned to gamble and they enjoy it. So I think like in Europe and everything, it's just going to get bigger and bigger and more accepted. Just think in the last, I don't know, 30, 40 years, how much more gambling there is in the UK and how much more how accepted it is.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like with the States, we're regulated, and there's a big push on safer gambling as there is in the US. So it's all done in moderation, and we all want to keep it that way.
But it's important. Let's face it, gambling is so much fun and so engrossing that it can become a problem. But I think people, and there is going to be some people that succumb to that problem. But I think as time goes by, people, the general public likes to gamble, but they control it, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't build Vegas on people winning, did they?
Yes. Look, winning is fun.
It is fun.
And that's what, and so that's what it's all about, is winning and giving a customer a real good chance to win.
Agreed. And particularly, say for instance, you put a bet on your favorite football team. When you've got skin in the game, it's always that more engaging, actually more kind of fun. And if you get the right result, it's even better, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
It's the and finally question already, and what would be your top 5 items of advice to anyone running a casino in today's gaming, political, and economic environments?
What's the five top things?
Yes.
Well, you know what? I'd have to think about that some. I hadn't thought about the 5 top things. Like I say, customer satisfaction and catering to the customer, and you can still do it and keep your expenses such that you can make some money. But customer satisfaction, not only in the gambling business, in any business, it's so important, and it's so important for all these companies now to remember that I don't think that some businesses think enough about the long-term relationship and the loyalty from the customer.
Excellent. Well, look, it's been a real pleasure chatting with you, Jack. And as I say, I'd really like to thank Simon Thomas and his team here at the Hippodrome for allowing us to host this interview from this fabulous casino leisure fun complex in the heart of London.
Well, okay. Really, I've never been in any casinos in London, but I know it's really a very what am I trying to say? London has really been a really good place for gambling, as you know. I mean, it's expanded and it's gotten bigger and bigger. And I think overall, from all indications, they do a great job.
Yeah, it is. We've got a bit of a history in this country of running casino operations, and many of the people that have been at the forefront have traveled and worked, and from the 80s onwards in Las Vegas as well. So yeah, we've done all right in this industry, and we're always working very closely with likes of fabulous Las Vegas.
Well, that's another thing. If you really look at it, I think there's 3 flights a day from London direct here today now, and I think I just saw where they're going to add another airline is going to start running a daily thing. So there's 4 large planes coming in here today from London. So that's not lost on Las Vegas. It's not lost on London. They know that this is a fun place to be.
Fabulous interview, Jack. I really appreciate it. So,
Thank you, Peter. I'm sorry I can't hear well enough, but thank you for calling. I enjoyed it.